Have you ever wondered how your silence impacts her? When you stop reaching out, when the communication fades, what goes through her mind? Many men fail to realize that stepping back from a relationship doesn't just create distance. It stirs powerful emotions, ignites deep realizations, and forces shifts in perspective. In today's fast-paced world, where texts fly back and forth in seconds and constant validation is only a click away, silence isn't just a pause in conversation. It's a game changer. It has the power to alter everything. Stick around, because what you're about to discover will forever change how you approach relationships. Section 1. The shock of silence. When you first go silent, it feels like an unexpected power outage on a bright and sunny day. It's jarring. The silence hits her in ways you can't quite grasp, and it throws her off balance. In a world where conversations are instant, where texts arrive with ease, your sudden absence feels deafening. At first, she might convince herself it's just a temporary glitch. Maybe you're just busy or need a break. But as hours turn into days, that fleeting hope transforms into something deeper, something unsettling. The realization dawns. This isn't a temporary pause. You've changed the rules of engagement. The predictable flow of small reassurances, the little moments of comfort she took for granted, are gone. Each time she checks her phone, expecting your name to light up the screen, and finding nothing but emptiness, the weight of your absence becomes heavier. It's more than just missing a text. It's the absence of something she didn't fully appreciate until now. In a world where the seen status and the read receipt indicate where a relationship stands, your absence is like a sudden cold front sweeping through her life. And now, her mind is occupied with the question, why did he stop? Has something changed between us? She starts to question everything. Her feelings, her assumptions, her understanding of the relationship itself. Section 2. The search for answers. As the shock begins to fade, frustration sets in. It's not just a simple annoyance anymore. It's a deep need for clarity. Her mind kicks into overdrive, replaying past interactions like a detective piecing together a puzzle. She revisits old chats, scours through your social media posts, and revisits every shared moment for a clue that might explain why you've disappeared. Each conversation, each text takes on more significance now. The absence of your responses begins to take on new meaning. She wonders, did I do something wrong? Did I push him away? Is he testing me? This frustration doesn't just stem from a desire for communication. It's a deep yearning to understand why you haven't reached out, especially when answers are supposed to be so easy to find. In today's world, we expect instant gratification, but your silence defies all logic. Friends become her sounding boards, offering theories and comfort, but no amount of reassurance can quiet the storm brewing inside her. Every new thought only leads to more questions. She might even find herself growing restless, checking her phone constantly, struggling to focus on anything else. Your silence is no longer just an absence. It's a presence that shapes her every action. Section 3. Searching for distractions. When the questions become too much to bear, she starts seeking distractions. This is the classic coping mechanism. She fills her time with activities. Nights out with friends, new hobbies, even trying something as simple as yoga. She might be trying to replace the void you left behind with something, anything, that can keep her mind off of you. But no matter how much she distracts herself, it never truly works. At best, these distractions offer only temporary relief. Social media becomes both a source of distraction and a trap. As much as she tries to enjoy the moment, she's constantly looking for signs of you. A notification, a post, anything that might give her the answer she's searching for. But the truth becomes clearer. No amount of external noise can replace the mental space you occupied in her life. At night, when the world slows down and everything else fades away, the silence becomes impossible to ignore. The more she tries to move on, the clearer it becomes that you are still very much present in her thoughts. And this realization marks a turning point. Distractions no longer provide any real escape. They only serve to amplify the awareness of what she's missing. Section 4. The burst of anger. As distractions lose their power, another emotion takes center stage. Anger. It's a natural response to the helplessness she's been feeling. The anger isn't just about you. It's about her own confusion, her own sense of powerlessness. She might post cryptic messages on social media, share bold selfies, or act like she doesn't care. These are declarations to the world, and more importantly to herself, that she's unaffected. But beneath this armor, there's a vulnerability she's not yet ready to admit. It's easier to feel angry than to confront the sadness that your absence has caused. She might talk to friends about how much better off she is without you. Those conversations are laced with frustration. She doesn't understand why she feels the way she does. Deep down, she's grappling with the fear that she's been left behind. Anger becomes a shield she uses to protect herself from the hurt. But the deeper she feels this anger, the more it reveals just how much you still matter to her. The louder the anger, the deeper the attachment. And as that anger begins to fade, what's left is a sense of longing, a longing she can no longer ignore. Section 5. Reflection time. Once the anger has burned itself out, a quieter phase sets in, reflection. This is a phase where she begins to look inward. She starts to question what went wrong, if she took you for granted, if she communicated her feelings clearly. This phase is not just casual thinking. It's a deeper introspective process. She starts to see the relationship in a new light. Not just a simple story of right and wrong, but a complex dynamic where both sides played a role. She starts to acknowledge the moments she overlooked or took for granted. She realizes that your silence wasn't just to make her miss you. It was a wake-up call, a signal to reassess the relationship's balance. This phase is often accompanied by a quieter sense of longing. It's no longer about the words spoken or the actions taken. It's about understanding the deeper significance of what was lost. The more she reflects, the more she understands that your withdrawal created the space needed for her to reevaluate her own feelings and needs. What once seemed like an uncomfortable silence now feels like a lesson she needed to learn. And through that lesson, she begins to realize how important that space was for her own growth. Section 6. Missing what was familiar. As reflection deepens, a sense of longing emerges for what was familiar. It's not the grand moments that stand out. It's the little things. The messages that would light up her phone. The inside jokes that only you shared. The way you responded to her late-night thoughts. In a world where everything moves quickly and connections seem fleeting, she begins to realize that what she had with you wasn't just another fleeting relationship. It was something genuine. She starts scrolling through old messages, rereading conversations, replaying memories in her mind. Each moment brings a mix of comfort and regret. She begins to realize just how deeply she misses the familiarity of your presence. This is the moment when she understands that your absence left a mark on her life. It's not just that she misses you. It's that her life feels different without you. The gravity of this realization deepens the emotional impact of your silence. She can no longer just pick up her phone and send a quick message. The absence is now a permanent shift in her reality. And as she starts to process this, she becomes more aware of the emotional space you've left behind. Section 7. Reaching out subtly. As the longing intensifies, she begins to consider reaching out, but doing so directly feels risky. So, she tests the waters in subtle ways. A like on your old post, a reply to your story, a casual message just to check in. These small acts are her way of letting you know she's still thinking of you, without fully exposing herself. In today's digital world, these subtle gestures speak volumes. If you respond, she'll analyze every word, every emoji, searching for signs of where you stand. But if you remain silent, it only deepens her uncertainty. These small attempts at reconnection may seem insignificant to you, but for her, they're filled with meaning. Section 8. A new perspective. With time, acceptance begins to take root. The silence that once felt like an unfair punishment now offers her a new perspective. She looks back on the period of no contact with clearer eyes, recognizing the lessons she's learned. She sees a relationship in a different light. How space allowed her to reassess not just what you meant to her, but what she truly needs from any relationship. This new perspective can lead her to two paths. Either a renewed desire to reconnect with you, or a decision to move on and use the lessons learned for future connections. Regardless of which path she chooses, the silence has served its purpose. It has helped her grow,